And welcome back to Sin and Finn, the Dugout Decision Show. Let's admit, guys, we're in the middle of the offseason. Kyle Tucker has gone to the Dodgers. Bo Bichette is reportedly going to the Mets. We're in a bit of a dry spell right now. There's really not a lot going on. So we're going to take a look today at 5 bold predictions I've put together for the 2026 Blue Jays season. But before we jump into that, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts down below on this video. And stay tuned for what's to come. So, starting out with our first very bold prediction for this video, I'm talking about Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I think Vladdy's going to have a great season going into 2026. We saw what he did in that 2025 playoff run, right? 8 home runs, carrying the team offensively, 29 hits. He was going to break the postseason hits record almost if it wasn't for Ernie Clement. So he had a great postseason overall. The defense, the offense, everything. But the regular season wasn't that great. We spoke to Joe Siddle. Shout out to our last guest, Joe Siddle, on the pod, who talked about Vladdy's season, the regular season. He's more of a line drive kind of hitter, and we really didn't see the pop. 23 home runs in the regular season for Vladdy. That was his lowest of his career since the 2021 year when he put up 48 in a season. We really didn't see the pop. It wasn't a bad offensive season in the regular season, but it wasn't really up to his standard. I think he's going to carry that momentum from the 2025 playoff run into 2026. The Jays have all the momentum in the world, and especially to think now that Bo Bichette is gone. He's not going to be in that lineup anymore. Vladdy's not going to have that support from Vlad. Are you going to get step-ups from Addison Barger and an Ernie Clement and maybe an Okamoto impresses? That could be the case. I think it's also fair to say, though, that George Springer is maybe going to have a bit of a recession, and maybe he doesn't live up to the season that he had in 2025. Does Alejandro Kirk potentially have a slight regression in 2026 as well? So I think Vladdy's going to need to step it up. He's the center of this offense, the center of the team, the face of the team. I think he goes off. Pencil him in for 40 home runs. I think he takes the AL MVP in 2026. Now, moving on to the second bold prediction for the 2026 season, we're looking at a rookie this time. We're looking at a guy that made some waves in 2025, made it all the way pitching to Game 5 of the World Series. Yes, I'm talking about Mr. Trey Yesavage, and I think Trey Yesavage is going to have a great year in 2026. We thought already that he was reaching his peak, seemingly striking out 12 guys. You see Ohtani's helmet come off, had a great game in Game 5 of the World Series, really helped support that Blue Jays pitching staff in the playoff run that they had. Pitched 3 games in the regular season, came up towards the end in September, and then put up 27 and 2/3 innings in the playoffs with a 3.58 ERA. The strikeout numbers were through the roof, and there's some projectability there with Trey Yesavage. Look at the splitter. Look at the arm angle he's pitching from. He's a real high upside guy, high strikeout guy. The velo isn't going to be crazy. You're going to see a lot of 94, 95. Maybe he ticks that up this offseason, gets to the workout room. Maybe he's doing great next year. But you know the potential's there with the splitter, with that strikeout potential he has, even that funky slider that's sometimes moving the wrong way. So I say pencil Trey Yesavage in for a great 2026 season. The workload might be a little minimal. I think fair to say Trey Yesavage is an easy candidate for Rookie of the Year. I think you can pencil him in for that. And I'm going to go bold as well. I'm going to say Trey Yesavage could finish within the top 10 of Cy Young voting in 2026. Again, the strikeout stuff is there for Trey Yesavage, and if he puts it all together throughout a full season, I think he could have a really good rookie year. All right, moving to our third bold prediction for the 2026 season for the Blue Jays. We're sticking with starting pitching. That's what the Jays have addressed this offseason. They've gone out and addressed the pitching staff. They're going to have a bit of an identity shift in 2026. It's not going to be so much offensive heavy. They really had to go out there and address the pitching, right? Because we saw the pitching was a little depleted going down to that 2025 run. You needed step-ups from guys, rookies, like Trey Yesavage coming in. So what did they do? They went out there and they got their guy for 7 years, $210 million. It's Dylan Cease. And when you look at Dylan Cease's numbers in the past couple of years with the Padres and with the White Sox, he's been doing really good in even number years. I don't know what it is with the even number years, but Dylan Cease has been really good. Look at his 2022 campaign when he had a 2.2 ERA and finished runner-up in the Cy Young voting to Justin Verlander. And then a couple years back as well in 2024, finished 4th in the Cy Young with the San Diego Padres. Similarly to Trey Yesavage, Dylan Cease is going to bring a lot of velocity. He's going to bring a lot of wipeout stuff. Check out his knuckle curveball if you haven't seen it yet. It's a great pitch. And he could be adding a changeup as well. So look for Dylan Cease to have a great 2026 season. He's going to come in here, and you can pencil him in right at the top of the Blue Jays starting rotation. Kevin Gausman's going to be gone in a year. He's in his walk year. And this is the guy that's going to be penciled in at the top of the Jays rotation for years to come. I see Dylan Cease having a great first season in the Blue Jay blue. Pencil him in for a top 5 Cy Young finish in 2026. All right, moving to our fourth bold prediction of the video. We're taking a look at the Blue Jays closer this time. The Jays didn't go out there and get an Edwin Diaz or a Devin Williams, so they're sticking it out with Jeff Hoffman. We know they got Tyler Rogers. He's most likely going to be a setup guy. He's not really a high strikeout guy. He's going to induce weak contact. So, you know what? They're going to stick it out with Jeff Hoffman again. And for those who may forget, Jeff Hoffman was electric in the playoffs. He put up a 1.46 ERA in 12 and a third innings with 18 strikeouts. We're going to think about that Miguel Rojas home run. I don't know how Miguel Rojas hit that home run. That was a really bad slider, left right over the plate by Jeff Hoffman, and it was a horrible pitch. And yeah, they lost the World Series because of it. But you cannot blame the entire World Series loss or how that playoff run ended on Jeff Hoffman. You cannot place it on him. Up until that point, he had near a 1 ERA throughout the playoffs. Again, 18 strikeouts throughout the playoffs. He was incredible. After kind of being shaky, we remember back end of August, early September, we were debating, like, is Brendan Little going to be the closer of this team? Who's going to be the closer of this team? Because Jeff Hoffman wasn't really performing that well. You know what? He really settled down in the playoffs, pitched quite well, pitched a couple of great games in Seattle. And we remember back to early in the 2025 season, back in April, first month of the year, Jeff Hoffman was lights out, had, I think, a sub 1 ERA. And then it started to fall off a cliff a little bit. We got into May and June, and you saw the struggles appear for Jeff Hoffman. He found something in the playoffs, and you don't think there's going to be a little chip on his shoulder this year, a little bit of an extra confidence boost needed coming into 2026, a little bit of a redemption tour for Jeff Hoffman, needing to prove himself after giving up that home run and, as he put it, losing the World Series for the team. I think Hoffman's going to be great next year. I don't think he blows as many games. He could get close to 40 saves, had 33 for the team last year. Pencil him in for about 35 saves and look for him to have a sub 2.5 ERA next year. All right, moving to our last bold prediction of the video. Bit of a longer one here for this last one, so make sure to stick it out to the end. We're looking at the All-Stars for the 2026 Blue Jays. Who's going to make the All-Star roster from the Blue Jays? Who's going to be the representatives? Funny enough, they only had two. That was it. Only two guys representing the team in the 2025 year. Given how good they were, that's a little surprising. It was Vladdy Jr., been an All-Star since 2021 every year, and it was Alejandro Kirk, who had a real career resurgence in 2025 and was great in the playoff run. You didn't see the other guys, George Springer, who had an incredible year, bounce back year. He was really good in the second half. Wasn't as great in the first half as the second half, was still good. That didn't warrant him an All-Star appearance. Bo Bichette had a great year. That didn't warrant him an All-Star appearance, and he won't be on the team in 2026. So we're going to take a look at who I think is going to make the 2026 All-Star roster representing the Blue Jays. We're starting off with Vlad. I think that's an easy pick. You pencil him in. Again, he's been an All-Star every single year since 2021. There's name value there. He's putting up the numbers, putting up the performances every single season to warrant an All-Star selection. I think it's safe to pencil him in for 2026. My next All-Star we're looking at here, bit of a bold one. We're going with Ernie Clement, the Earn Dog. Ernie was incredible in the playoffs. We remember broke the record for most hits in a single playoff run, putting over a 400 batting average in the playoffs. Nearly had his Joe Carter moment with that home run at the end that he just missed. I don't even know how Andy Pages caught that ball. Could have had his home run moment there, but you know, Ernie Clement was great in the playoff run. Even during the season, people forget this was an over 4 B-WAR player. The defense is impeccable. Could have won a Gold Glove at the utility position. Ernie Clement was a dog last year. The name is there for a reason. I think Ernie Clement could make an all-star team for his defensive and offensive value next season. All right, for my last offensive all-star selection for the Blue Jays in 2026, this may be a surprise for some, but it may not be for others. It's Addison Barger. Barger was incredible for the Blue Jays in the 2025 season, given that he kind of struggled. You know what? Call it what it is. He kind of struggled in the 2024 year, in his rookie year. But you know what? He made the adjustment to sticking to his game plan. He's a power guy. He's not really a contact-oriented guy. He found the power stroke in 2025, put up 21 homers in the regular season, and had an over 1,000 OPS in the playoffs. He was incredible. Think of that pinch hit grand slam he hit. First pinch hit grand slam in World Series history against the Dodgers. I think Barger's going to have a great first half of the season, warrant an all-star selection, and look for him to be selected to that team in 2026. All right, take a look at the pitcher side now for the Jays. Who's going to represent the Jays on the pitching side? I think you have to pencil in Kevin Gausman as a guy that's going to make the All-Star team in 2026. Crazy thing, too, Kevin Gausman hasn't started a game on opening day for the Blue Jays since he joined the team in 2022. I think that's going to happen in 2026, but pencil him in to make the All-Star team. He was a dog. We talk about all these other guys that have been dogs for the team. Kevin Gausman put everything out there in that playoff run. pitching so many innings. I think he got up to 220 innings total on the year between his regular season and playoff run. He's going to need a bit of rest. Granted, he's going to need that, and he's had that this offseason. I think he comes out firing. This is a walk year too, so there's a little personal investment for him as well. I think he makes an all-star team for the Blue Jays and has a great first half of the season. Sticking with the starters, I think Dylan Cease, their new guy, we've already mentioned him as well. I think he's going to come in and have a great season for the Blue Jays. But they brought him in on that 7-year, $210 million deal, which we talked about previously. Guy throws gas. Guy throws up to 100 miles an hour. He's a great pitcher when he's on. And if Pete Walker and Sam Green and the other pitching coaches on that Blue Jays staff can refine his stuff, I think he's going to be incredible. If they can limit the walks, they can limit the home run problems. Dylan Cease is a great, even Cy Young candidate, which we talked about previously. So I say pencil him in. I think he makes an all-star team for the Blue Jays in 2026. And for our last all-star selection for the Blue Jays in 2026, we're going with the closer. We're going with the guy we talked about previously. It's Jeff Hoffman. He was an all-star previously with Philly back in 2024. We think back to a couple of great years he had there, which warranted that 2025 contract that he earned with the Blue Jays. Again, we think about that April month, right, that he had that was so good, sub-1 ERA. Think of that playoff run. The chip is on his shoulder after that Miguel Rojas home run. He needs to come into spring training with an extra confidence boost, get firing out of the gate. Let's see some 97s. Let's see some 98s out of Jeff Hoffman. I think he has a great first half of the season, and I think he makes an all-star team. And yes, I'm penciling 6 Blue Jays in to be all-stars for the 2026 season. All right, that's going to do it for this video. Blue Jays fans, leave your thoughts down below. What do you think about these bold predictions? Are they realistic? Are they really out of this realm of possibility? Let us know your thoughts down below. What do you think the Blue Jays are going to do in 2026 and how are they going to perform in general? Make sure to like, subscribe, comment your thoughts down below, and we'll catch you next time.